مستحيل.
Welcome back. The time is 10 minutes after 9, and this morning we turn our attention to Mozambique, where the return of opposition leader Venancio Mondlane from self-imposed exile has ignited tensions and raised critical questions about the country's future. Yesterday, the streets of Maputo were scenes of absolute chaos as security forces fired live ammunition and tear gas trying to disperse Mondlane's supporters. Tragically, at least one person lost their life and several others were injured in clashes that have drawn international condemnation. Mondlane's return, though, comes in the wake of a very, very much televised and broadcasted contested election, if I can put it that way. He claims the elections, the Mozambican elections held late last year, were rigged in favor of the ruling party Frelimo. While some see his return as a potential step towards dialogue and resolution, others fear it. Could it lead to an escalation in violence and further instability in Mozambique? And to help us unpack these developments and to answer those questions, we'll be joined by senior political journalist and editor of the CDD publications, Andre Mulungo. Andre, thank you so much for joining us. Welcome to Salam Media. Really appreciate you giving us your time this morning.
For the opportunity to be here to share it with your audience about what's going on in Mozambique.
No, I think the pleasure is all ours. First and foremost, can you describe the atmosphere in Maputo yesterday as Mondlane arrived? What stood out to you about the reactions from both his supporters and the authorities?
Before I give the atmosphere of Maputo yesterday, let me give a note about what you said. The police killed the 3 citizens, not one.
Oh, there's 3.
2 was killed. 3 citizens killed by police yesterday. One in the Maputo International Airport area, and the one in Altomaer, in near of any famous market here called Estrela Vermelha. So 3 citizens killed by police yesterday, and we have a lot of injured citizens by the police violence. But let's come back to 8th January, when the day before Mondlane landed in Maputo International Airport. The security was reinforced in order to block the Venancio Mondlane supporters to reach the Maputo International Airport to receive Venancio Mondlane. And yesterday, the atmosphere was very tense, with police continuing block the main roads that allow citizens to go to Maputo International Airport to receive Venancio Mondlane. Because of this block of the police, the citizens tried to force, and the police responded with violence. And because of this violence, as I said before, 3 citizens was shot by police, and we have a lot of citizens also injured by the violence of the police. So it was until 3 p.m. After that, the environment now is a little bit calm.
I want to touch a bit on Mondlane's decision to return. I think it appears to be both bold and a bit risky. Do you think this move strengthens his position as a leader or exposes him to greater political and legal danger? What are your thoughts on his return?
I think we can try to understand I give in two examples. We can see it in two dimensions. The first dimension is maybe there is any agreement or principle of agreement to allow Venancio Mondlane to be here in Mozambique. That agreement must be have intervention of international organs, maybe United Nations. I'm trying to point some of them, but I believe that there is any intervention to allow Venancio Mondlane to be here. This is one dimension. The second dimension is that Venancio Mondlane lost fee. As you know, Venancio Mondlane left Mozambique because he said that he was facing threats. And he said also that he can't come to Mozambique for the dialogue called by President Nyusi because he was fear of being detained because of the process that the justice Mozambican authorities are moving against him. So this is another dimension. But what I believe is that there is an agreement. There was a conversation with the intervention of some organs, international organs, to allow Venancio Mondlane to be here because, as you know, the regime is very bad. After Venancio Mondlane leave Mozambique, his friend and his lawyer, his advisor was killed by the authorities here in Mozambique. So Venancio Mondlane to come simply, I don't believe that this is a genuine will to come to Mozambique. There is an arrangement maybe with the international community intervention because, as you said, is facing risk to be killed. Also is facing risk to be detained just because of the process that the justice is moving again in. One point that is important point. One person near Venancio Mondlane published in social media that the authorities of Mozambique retained the diplomatic passport of Venancio Mondlane. When he arrived yesterday in Maputo International Airport, they took the diplomatic passport of Venancio Mondlane. So this is one of the elements that can make us believe that really Venancio Mondlane is running risk. Venancio Mondlane is a real problem for the regime of Mozambique. In all the 30 years of democracy that we have after Afonso Gatama, the late leader of a former rebel movement called Renamo, the one that is a big problem for Frelimo ruling party is Venancio Mondlane. And one of the way that Frelimo ruling party have to take care of people that they believe that are danger for him is to kill them. Or is to put them in prison. So it's a fact that Venancio Mondlane is running all of those risks. So, but it's also important for him to be here in Mozambique to move a dialogue, keep a dialogue with Mozambican authorities. It's also good even for us that we care for democracy and human rights because the environment now in Mozambique is not good. We have more than 400 citizens killed. We have 100 citizens injured, and we have also 100 citizens arbitrarily arrested by police. We have a destruction of public and private infrastructure. The economy of Mozambique is not working properly. It is not only affecting Mozambique, it's also affecting countries like South Africa that have a lot of investment here in Mozambique. And it's necessary now to have a dialogue. But also it's necessary for the regime to change, to understand that it's time to hear the citizen, it's time to hear the people that is demanding change. It's time to hear the youth that is demanding change, that is demanding policies for homes, for jobs. It's time to refund and to rebuild our state that is now captured by Frelimo ruling party. It's time to find independence in all the two powers that we have, the judiciary, the executive, and the legislative. is now to have any president that is not compared like a god according to the power that he has. Is now a time for a fund to make the state to work for the people and not to use the state for the benefit of the elite in Mozambique. So those kind of things is possible to have it by a dialogue. And with Venancio Mondlane here, I think that we have a light, we have a way for this dialogue.
Mm. Andre, as I'm listening to you speak, right, it almost feels like the issue around the elections and them being rigged was just a instigator or a prompter of a long coming, dare I say, revolution in Mozambique. Would you share the same sentiment that something like this was always coming? There was always discontentment with the Frelimo. 50 years since they've been in power, a lot of people, particularly young people, who are in the majority in Mozambique and right now who are, the full-fledged supporters of Venancio Mondlane. This has always been coming despite the issue of the elections. Would that be a fair and correct assessment that something like this has always been brewing and the elections and how they were conducted was just the proverbial matchstick that lit up the fire?
You are right. You are right. This is not about election. Election is a part of the problem, but it is because of the problem that we have as a country during those 15 years that have been ruling of the by Frelimo ruling party. As I said before, this demonstration because we as citizens we feel that this is not there for us. The state are there for the elite. That's the reason why I was saying that it's time to rebuild, it's time to refund our state to make the state work for people, to give food to people. If you go to the street, what we eat are people saying we need food, we are hungry. So this is time to change this. It's not only about the election. Election is part of this movement of contestation, but is something involving a lot of problems that we have been living during those times that we are independent since 1975. It's not really a problem of election only that election, but it's a fact that the election was rigged and the election rigged since 1994 when we had our first election that inaugurated the democracy.
I want to touch a bit on the potential for dialogue here. Mondlane says he's open to dialogue, but the government accuses him of inciting unrest. What are the chances of a somewhat meaningful negotiation, and what would need to happen for that to succeed?
What I used to say is that now Frelimo can have a will to have a negotiation, but before the proclamation of the result, obviously Frelimo was not interested in negotiation. What Frelimo was doing was entertainment. He was trying to entertain people till the Constitutional Council validate the result, because they know that after the proclamation of the result, there is no space for the appeal. The council is the highest and can consider highest court. So now what Frelimo was doing after the announcement of the result was trying to do something like maintain the power, and they say, okay, this news is about to leave the presidency, but we have to guarantee that we have our new president. So this president is the one that is going to conduct the dialogue with the opposition leader, that is Venancio Mondlane. So I think that now it's possible. what is important now is to have this dialogue, genuine dialogue that is going to change the situation, that is going to solve the problems, that is going to respond the demand of the youth, of all the citizens that are in the street protesting. If we don't solve the problem now, I can say that this is the opportunity, maybe we have, or God gave us, to try to refund and try to organize the country. If we don't do this, what is going to happen is that at the times we are going to have those kinds of demonstration in major or in the minor dimension, that those problems are going to happen. So now it's time for Frelimo ruling party to understand that this situation is not only Venance Mondlane. It's about the people that are disgusted with the government. It's all about the citizens that are tired of injustice, are tried by the how can I say, the desigualities. So even if they kill Venance Mondlane, even if they train Venance Mondlane, I don't think that they will control the demonstration. What we see are the people decided by himself to try to force Frelimo ruling party to change things.
Let's talk practicalities now. From the short term, right now, for Mozambique to achieve stability and peace, what would need to happen? Would a re-election be an option? Would Vinicius Mondlane being integrated into government be another option? What would be a short-term solution that would appease the people of Mozambique currently?
To have election now, I think that is any hypothesis that we have to ignore. We have to ignore the policy to have election, to how can I say, to have election after the election that we have in 9th October. I think what we have to have now is to, Venance Mondlane said that he is not interested in being integrated in any government, because if he is part of this government, it means that he assumed that he lost the election. I don't know if you understand me. If he is part of this government, it means that he assumed that he lost the election and is recognizing that the Frelimo ruling party won. Del Chapo won the election. What I think that is necessary is to sit as a country, as a citizen, as a state, sit at the same table and try to discuss what's wrong and try to fix it. To see what's wrong and try to solve it. And here now is very important, the role of Frelimo ruling party, because all the contestation for Frelimo ruling party. And if Frelimo ruling party attend the voices of citizens, this will be bad for Frelimo ruling party. The violence will continue, and it can be bad. We don't want to see in Mozambique what happened, for instance, in Libya. And if Frelimo ruling party continue ignoring the voices of the people, the risk of the escalation of the violence is there. It's there. We saw what happened yesterday with people going to the street to receive Venance Mondlane. What we see now is that the people, the citizens, assume Venance Mondlane as the president. Yesterday, to give you an example, we have a meeting in the office of President Nyusi with President Nyusi, with Chapo, the candidate of Frelimo, with Lutero Simango of MDM, with Usufu Momadi of Renamo, and also with this guy Forquilha from Podemos, and the leader of Nova Democracia. The meeting was not noticed here. Was not noticed. The notice yesterday was the fact that Venance Mondlane is here, landed. So this is dangerous even for Frelimo ruling party if he continue ignoring. So now I think that the way is to see it as a country and try to negotiate and try to change things. We have to take the country, to free the country from Frelimo ruling party, as they say, captured. All of those problems that we have is because Frelimo ruling party is captured this state and are using the state for their will. They are not there to serve the citizens. They are not there to serve the state. They are serving the state for their interest. Are using the state, for their interest.
Mm. And just lastly, before I let you go, Andre, with the swearing in of Daniel Chapo just a few days away, what do you foresee for Mozambique in that short-term period? Will that situation, the swearing in, the putting a stamp on the fact that Daniel Chapo will now be the president of Mozambique, will that, I don't know, create stability, or are we looking at prolonged unrest as a lot of Mozambicans might be feeling that we are being pushed to the absolute limit? We've been saying the elections were not free, they were not fair, and now that man is standing on a stage, he's standing on a pedestal, and is being sworn in as our president for the next 4 years.
I will insist that it is urgent for us to have a dialogue. Venancio Mondlane, Daniel Chapo is going to be in next week. Is imposed as a president of Mozambique, and I believe that the protest will continue even in the day that the Chapo will be take to the president. The protest will continue. So I think that when begin the moment that Chapo is officially president, he have immediately to contact Venancio Mondlane. Immediately, it's very important to contact immediately because it will be dangerous even for himself. I don't imagine Chapo talking to the people. And even now, the citizens say, we don't recognize you. Yesterday, we have a road called Airport de Lusaka that is going to airport. The passport to pass, even for some journalists here locally, to pass it to the airport was to saying this word: Frelimo and the Chapo will not govern here. If you don't say this way, the guys will say, no, it's not you, you're not with us. So it's dangerous even for Daniel Chapo. He have to call dialogue immediately after 15 January. This is the way that we can have a country to bring stability for the country. If he ignores Venancio Mondlane, if he ignores the other leaders of opposition, but particularly Venancio Mondlane, and if he ignores the voice of the people that are saying that the education must change, that the health system must change, that they need food, the health, saying that they need employment, they need homes. Unfortunately, Chapo will not have a easy life here in Mozambique.
No, definitely. And I think we're going to leave it on that note. Andre, thank you so much for being our eyes and ears out in Mozambique. And I'm sure we'll be catching up with you, I think, particularly during that swearing in of Daniel Chapo. But we're going to leave it here for now. Really appreciate it.
Thank you.
There you go. That was Andre Mulungo coming to us live from Maputo. He's from the Center of Democracy and Human Rights. He's also a senior political journalist and editor of the CDD, Center for Democracy and Human Rights Publications. So yeah, it's going to be an interesting couple of days, particularly with the fact that Daniel Chapo, the people that Mozambicans are saying we didn't vote for, we don't know who that guy is. We know Venancio Mondlane. He's the guy that we voted for. Well, guess what? Next week is going to be sewn in, and it will be interesting to see what scenes will be unfolding out in Mozambique in the next couple of days. Will the people of Mozambique feel like they are being provoked, if I can put it that way? Because for weeks on end, they've been at least saying, the elections have been rigged. We don't understand how this man is president. We voted for Venancio Mondlane. We don't want Frelimo anymore. They've been in power for the last 50 years and they've done absolutely nothing for us, and we want to change. But guess what? Daniel Chapo will be sworn in next week. It's going to be really, really interesting, and we'll be bringing you the latest right here on Salam Media. We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we'll be speaking to a very, very interesting character. We'll be speaking to Osama Kasu. He's a Palestinian creator of Gaza Cola and is also a human rights advocate and filmmaker. And we'll be chatting to him about this really, really cool innovation and alternative to Coca-Cola. He's calling it Gaza Cola, and he has big, big, big plans for it, and how he aims to assist the people of Gaza through it. More on that after this.